How's it going, everyone? So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing why Tom Hardy's Venom has kind of been set up in a way where he can't be a villain. And the first reason for this is Eddie, right? So in the first two Venom films, in the first one especially, in all of Eddie's interactions with Venom when he first meets him throughout sharing the symbiote, fighting, Eddie, and especially in the second film, has been really adamant about being a good person. Eddie has good morals. He's always trying to keep Venom in check. He has, the chickens to eat instead of people. He has a tire swing to go off on in the apartment, as you see in the second film. Eddie's really always enforced the point as we're not going to commit crimes. We're not going to kill anybody for unjust reasons. Obviously, he lets Venom go off on people that deserve it, so that's why he's kind of more of a vigilante than a hero, but they've set him up to the point where he's been a protagonist and, quote-unquote, a good guy, Eddie especially. Eddie has spent these first two movies working on Venom to also become good. He's trying to make the symbiote have morals and know right from wrong, So, in order for them to make Venom a villain, they would have to go back on the entire character. And not just Eddie's character, Venom, like the symbiote. They would have to... He's had this whole character arc of trying to become better. And now they would have to go back and ruin all of that. And also change Eddie. Eddie would also have to change everything that, like, his entire character they built upon as Eddie's, Eddie's a good guy. He's not a bad person, so it wouldn't make any sense. And now, when you have to have him fight Spider-Man down the road, right? When you have to have Venom fight Spider-Man, how are they going to have him have beef with Spider-Man? How are they going to beef him with Spider-Man? It would have to be a personal vendetta thing, right? But even then, Eddie's not going to want to kill him. And it's going to have to be a big enough threat in the movie where Venom has to be like a bigger villain if he's going to fight Spider-Man. It's going to be a big movie, It's not going to be like a little skirmish between the two. If Venom's going to be in the movie, he's going to be the big bad. He's a major Spider-Man character. So they just set him up wrong, and it's not even like... It was wrong from the beginning. Venom should not have been set up like this. So it's not like he should be a villain. He should be. But I'm saying they shouldn't do it because it would... Either they're going to ruin the character they set up, or... And they've ruined the setup already because Venom's always been an anti-hero. That's more of his thing. He's an anti-hero, especially as you see in Spider-Man 3. He really only wants to mess with... he just hates Peter, right? But in the movie, and Topher Grace's Venom, he was willing to, because that Eddie was bad, and Eddie Brock is bad. That's the thing. Topher Grace's Venom, as sketchy as he was, his Eddie didn't hold back. And that's what they needed to do with this Eddie Brock. Or have him be influenced. That's another thing. This Eddie Brock, as you see in Spider-Man 3, remember when Peter gets it and Eddie gets it, the symbiote makes you want to be bad, right? We've seen none of this in the Venom films. Eddie has not been influenced. I mean, Venom's always talking to him, but in Spider-Man 3 and in the comics, the symbiote takes control and it brings out, your bad traits and your bad, personality. And this hasn't really happened at all. So that's another thing. If Eddie was kind of mediocre, he's a decent person, and then in Spider-Man 3, and then the symbiote makes him worse, that's fine. But the symbiote hasn't affected him at all. And they've also built this Venom up as a protagonist. So the audience has started to like this character and care for this character and have empathy for this character. So now, when you have him fight Spider-Man, you can't really expect the fans to really, the fans care about this character. So how are you going to expect the fans to, root against him, You've had the first two films trying to make the fans, kind of like this funny relationship between Eddie and the symbiote. They're kind of funny, they get along, but then they fight, and then they kick ass, and, you've set it up so we care about this character, and you're going to have, it's just, unless they had to go through a major change and go against the entire character that they've built upon, it's just not going to make any sense. And in the end, because obviously Spider-Man is going to win, when Spider-Man either beats or kills Venom, how are you going to expect the audience to have that satisfaction of, yeah, that guy fucking deserved it, You can't, because people like that character. And once again, unless they make Venom all of a sudden with a flick of a switch, Eddie's, oh my god, I'm evil, you know? They would have to either, there's only two ways they can go about this. They change the entire origin, or not the origin, they would change the entire morals of this character, right? Or they just have him, for some dumb reason, all of a sudden hate Spider-Man. Like, and if you saw on No Way Home, the post-credits, Eddie wanted to meet Spider-Man. Like, Eddie was like, okay, I'll meet him. I mean, like, Eddie, it's the Eddie part. That symbiote can full on be a villain, especially in the first movie. That symbiote was set up perfectly, but that's why I was always worried about them making these Venom movies as a solo movie. Is that if you're gonna make it, he's got to be Venom. Like, he's got to just go off and be crazy. And this Eddie is not crazy. Like, he's a good guy, which is cool, but that's not Venom. So I think if they have to have Spider-Man fight Venom, it's got to be a different Venom, which I'm hopeful about, because in the end of No Way Home, the symbiote stayed, but Eddie left. So if they do that, that's fine. But like Tom Hardy said, Spider-Man is going to fight that Venom at some point, no matter if it's Tom or Andrew. Whoever fights him, that Eddie's still a good person, so it just doesn't make sense to me, you know? But that's my, point on this, is that those first two Venom movies, they're alright, but that's what I was worried about when I saw that first Venom in theaters back in, 2018? I was like, cool, but he's going to have to be bad at some point, and you just tried convincing us that he's a good guy now. So there's a lot of stuff going on with it. I mean, I love Venom. I want to see Spider-Man fight Venom more than anybody, but it's really just this Venom that's the problem. If they can have that symbiote go in Tom Holland's world and go off and find Eddie, and then boom, you have Tom Holland interact with the symbiote and become bad for a little bit, like they did with Tobey, that'd be sick. You have that universe's Eddie Brock, and maybe that Eddie Brock isn't so good. That's perfect. But people are still going to want to see Tom Hardy fight Spider-Man. So how are you going to have that happen? You know? It's a shit show, kind of, because it's not even Tom's movies. It's just Venom's movies that have been set up poorly for this part of his character. Is they cannot have, or they can, but it's just not gonna. I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But like, this Venom is set up to not do this. So that's my opinion on this. Let me know what you guys think. I just think it's just, they knew this was gonna happen, and they still went in the wrong direction with the origin of this Venom. But let me know your guys' thoughts on this. What you guys think. If you guys think they could put a spin on it where Venom's evil, or Eddie turns evil all of a sudden, let me know. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll come out with a video soon.